Benjamin Harvey here, and today I wanted to talk to you about a very important question that we ask ourselves from time to time. And that is, do I have to know my purpose? As in, do I really need absolute certainty in what my purpose is before I go out there and start taking the necessary actions to live the most fulfilling life possible? Now, I was recently running a seminar down in Melbourne, and I had the good fortune of speaking with a lady who was in the audience. And she mentioned to me that she'd been sitting at home for well over 3 years, virtually immobilized by the fact that she didn't have unquestionable certainty and unstoppable determination with the most highest level of vision and mission possible. And as a result of that, she wasn't able to move anywhere. In fact, she'd been sitting at home for over 3 years, not moving because she'd been convinced in the personal development industry that you must be crystal clear on your message. And I'm here to tell you that is an absolute load of rubbish. Absolute rubbish. And let me explain why. The fact is, you don't have to be certain about what you want to do in life. In fact, you can be as unclear as humanly possible, yet still take necessary actions that will allow you to be fulfilled. Now, I don't know about you, but certainly when I poll the audiences, quite often I find that most people in the audience have been out on some kind of date before. Now, in a room of about 500 people, I always ask the question, raise your hand if you've ever experienced love at first sight and are still happily married or connected with that person today. And normally in about a room of about 500, there'll be about 3 or 4 people that raise their hand. That tells me that love at first sight is somewhat of an anomaly. It's kind of like finding a unicorn. It's a very, very, very rare feat. But for the rest of us mere mortals, the fact is that when we started dating people or going out on dates or getting into romantic relationships, we didn't wait till we were head over heels in love before we went on our first date. In fact, the first thing we did was we actually went out on a date. Now, when we went out on the date, we had no idea what this person was going to be like. Maybe we had a bit of an understanding, or maybe we'd seen a photo of them, or maybe a friend had referred us, or who knows how you got on that date. But the fact is, your very first date is not really a date. Your first date is nothing other than a deep psychological analysis of another human being. And you start to look for things. You look like, how are they dressed? How are they talking? Do they make me laugh? What sort of restaurant are we going to? What sort of car are they driving? What sort of conversations are we having? And based on that, you score them either plus or minus. So if they rock up looking really nicely dressed, you give them a plus. If they take you to McDonald's for dinner, you give them a minus. If you go outside and there's a nice fancy sports car in the driveway, you might give them a plus. But if they walk past that sports car and jump into a beaten up 1960s Datsun sedan, I don't even know if they had them back in the 1960s, you give them a minus, and so on and so forth. And after this little plus or minus game, at the end of your first date, you sit at home and you work out. If they had more pluses, even just one more plus than minuses, you will go on a second date. And this is the dating process, at least for the first couple of weeks. You're looking for more pluses than minuses, and if you get more each date, you continue to go on the date. A couple of weeks in though, you start to feel a little bit. You start to feel a little bit emotional, a little bit connected. You start to feel something warm in your heart, and you start to realize that you're really starting to like this person that you're dating. As the weeks sort of turn into months, pretty soon you start to realize you are in fact falling in love with this person that you're dating. And of course, you know what happens next. You sit down at a dinner table, you look them straight in the eye, and with absolute confidence you say, "I love you." They say, "Excuse me, what did you just say?" You say, "I really love you." They say, "Sorry, you're going to have to speak up, I didn't hear what you say." You say, "All right, you got me, I love you." Now, I don't know if you had an experience like that, but the fact is the first time we tell someone we love them, we're still not really sure if they're going to reciprocate that. And we're still a little bit cautious as to really if we're feeling these feelings for real. But the fact is, falling in love with someone is exactly the same process as finding your purpose in life. Sitting at home wanting to be crystal clear and absolutely certain on what your purpose is as insane as saying, "I refuse to date anybody until I'm certain that I'm in love with them. Until I'm fully committed to spending the rest of my life with that person, I'm simply not going to go on a single date." But guess what? You and I have been there before. Millions of people around the world are going through this process right now. They're sitting in a job they don't like. They're doing things that are unfulfilling. They're making just enough money to barely pay the bills so they can go back to something that they don't enjoy. But the reason they're doing that is because they've been sold this lie that until you're crystal clear with absolute certainty, you can't take the first step. But here's the thing. My advice is start dating some ideas. If you like coaching, why don't you read a coaching book? Go to a coaching seminar. Why don't you call up a coach and talk to a coach? Why don't you read some psychology books to learn about a bit of mindset? Why don't you start dating in the evenings or on the weekends? And if you continue to like the date and you go on a few dates, you read a few books about coaching, you like it, you maybe go to a seminar and you like it, then my advice is intensify the dating, Go from dating to maybe sleeping over. Sleeping over is where you might go get a certification in coaching. And then who knows, maybe you've slept over at the house a few times, at the coaching house. Maybe you go and leave your toothbrush there. Leaving your toothbrush there is where you maybe start to go part-time in your day job. Then before you know it, you put clothes in the wardrobe, and that's basically as committed as you're going to get. And next thing you know, you basically step in and you've moved into the house. And that's pretty much where you quit your day job altogether and you're fully and completely aligned to coaching. So my advice is start dating. Don't think you have to be in love. Don't think you have to be certain. People always say to me, Ben, what's it like knowing with absolute certainty what you're going to dedicate your life to? And I got to tell you, I don't even know what that means. I have no idea. All I know is right now, talking to you is inspiring to me. Sharing this information with you to help you feel liberated and experience freedom in your life, this inspires me right now. But I tell you this much, if I wake up tomorrow and this doesn't inspire me anymore, I'm not going to do it anymore. One of the greatest lessons I ever got from one of my spiritual teachers was this: just because you manifest something doesn't mean you have to use it. Just because you manifest something doesn't mean you have to use it. So just because you create the most successful coaching practice you could doesn't mean that if you start to love property that you have to keep doing coaching. My advice is learn to live in a state of transformation, but certainly at least start dating some ideas. If you like the stock market, do some paper trades, date a few ideas. If you like gardening, go and learn some gardening courses at your local horticulture center. If you like traveling, go and do a bit of travel and just see what it's like. Go on a few dates. And before you know it, you'll start to feel something. And before you know it, you'll start to fall in love. And before you know it, you'll have opened up your heart to your purpose and you'll be well on your way. Now, if you would like some further assistance on how you can actually get clear on your purpose, we have our signature personal development program called the Turning Point Intensive. Now, this is a 2-day workshop that you are going to get an incredible amount of value out of it. In fact, during this workshop, we will show you the 4 key steps to discovering a life of more meaning, to discovering more fulfillment, and to journeying forth with absolute confidence and courage, not certainty, just confidence and courage that you are stepping ever closer to your purpose in life. The Turning Point was designed to assist you to remove emotional baggage from the past, get clarity in your day-to-day actions, find out what is fulfilling to you right now, not 10 years from now, but right now, and give you that real sense of contentment and fulfillment that comes from knowing that every day from this day forward, you are taking ever greater steps closer to really the most meaningful existence you can. If you'd like to join us for the Turning Point, below this video there will be a link that you can click on. My advice is click on that link and register. The rooms that we have for these events are obviously limited by the size of the people that we can fit into it. So the sooner you register, the better. And there's a few little bonuses and whatnot in there for people who do register as well. It's a completely complimentary event, so the price is right. And all you got to do is basically put your name down, then give yourself at least 2 days out of your life to commit to coming to an incredible program that I believe will revolutionize your life, get you on your path, help you clarify your purpose, and certainly bring a much more meaningful existence to you so you can go out there and share your message, make a difference, and leave some type of legacy right here in the world. So I look forward to seeing you at the Turning Point if you do decide to come along. And if you do, please come up to us and say hello, because I love to meet everybody that we share our ideas with. And until we meet again, give yourself permission to not need to be clear, not need to be certain, and just start going on a few dates with some ideas and some topics and some concepts, and see if you do, in fact, happen to fall in love with one of them. I look forward to seeing you very soon, and until we do, share your light, live your love, and do whatever it takes to be your own best friend. I'll see you soon.